Hi, my name is Tony, and today I'm going to show you how to make a vegan pumpkin pie from plantbasedonabudget.com. The most important thing to note is that we are using pumpkin puree and not pumpkin pie filling. I know it can be confusing at the grocery store, so just make sure you're looking for pumpkin puree, and you can check the ingredients. It doesn't have all the spices and the sugar that the pumpkin pie filling has. And I'm using 2 cups. That's about 1 whole can and then half a cup from another can. I have used 1 can before and it doesn't make a really full pie. We're using 2 cups today. 1 can is 1.5 cups. So you're gonna pour this whole can in to a large bowl. I try to get all of that pumpkin puree out. You can also make your own pumpkin puree. I am creating a recipe for Plant-Based on a Budget for exactly that. It is pretty simple, if I might say. Then I'm gonna fill up this half of a cup right now to add the rest in. There we go. This is 1 cup. I filled it halfway, and I'll move that out of the way now. Then I'm gonna add in 1 cup of plant-based milk. This is almond milk. You can use soy milk or oat milk or whichever plant-based milk that you like best. And simply add that directly into this bowl. What I especially love about this pie, besides the fact that it is delicious, is that it's all in 1 bowl. And when I'm cooking for the holidays or even in the pumpkin season in general, I feel like sometimes it's calling for multiple dishes per recipe, a dry ingredient bowl, wet ingredient bowl, mix everything together with this tool and then that tool. This is just 1 bowl, and I appreciate that because the holidays call for so many dishes. Add in 1/2 cup of sugar. That's plain old granulated sugar. Then I'm adding in 1/2 tablespoon of unsulfured molasses. It is really thick and it can get kind of messy. So I'm gonna try to be careful not to make a mess, which is the thing that I often do. I'm gonna get all of it out. Because it's so thick, it sticks to the tablespoon, but I wanna make sure I'm getting that full 1/2 tablespoon. So I'm gonna use a second utensil, dirty up another dish, very holiday-like, and just try to get as much of it as possible. Then I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm using the imitation vanilla because it's so much cheaper and I cook a lot and it gets really expensive. So I'm using the imitation vanilla, which I think that this is about $1.20 at Walmart, but you're welcome to use pure vanilla if that's your preference or if that's what you have on hand already. This is 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm almost out of this Himalayan salt. You've probably seen me using it instead of regular table salt that's iodized. That's my preference, but I got this from Costco a while back and I'm just trying to get through it. So it's going in everything, but iodized regular table salt is what I usually use in this recipe and in most recipes. Then I'm gonna put in my pumpkin pie spice. I'm doing 1 tablespoon. We go through pumpkin pie spice like nobody's business during the fall season and the holiday season. And that goes directly into the bowl like everything else. And then I'm gonna take my hand mixer. I have one of these. I'm not gonna use it right now. I'm just gonna use my regular old mixer. For some reason, I got this other hand mixer on the Buy Nothing group in Sacramento and I love it and I'm so grateful, but I think it's missing a setting. It goes from 0 to 50 maybe. I'm so sorry, I realized I missed an ingredient. I thought, where is my flour? And here it is. I totally glossed over it. Don't be like me, follow the instructions. I am including the printable recipe down below. And don't forget to add in your flour. This is 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now I'm gonna mix everything up and get it good to go to pour it into my pie crust. All right, this looks good. Make sure you're hitting the bottom and the sides so that there is no weird clumping. The pumpkin pie spice is mixed throughout. Now I'm gonna set this aside. These are the kinds of pie crusts that I use that are store-bought and vegan. And this one is from Marie Callender's. It is the deep dish pastry pie shells. It comes in 2. You're welcome to buy the ones that are not deep dish. My grocery store that I got this one, I think I got it from Rayleigh's. This one, it was all that was available, so that's what I got. But I will use one of these. And I wanted to show you another one. I got this one from Walmart. It is the Betty Crocker boxed one. It says it makes 2 flaky crusts, but I would say it really only makes 1. We've used this one a bunch and I don't think it makes 2, to be honest. And all you do is add water with this one. It's super simple. But if you like to make your own pie crust, I will include a recipe for mine, which is going to be down below in the caption, and I'll also try to link it somewhere around here. Alrighty then. Okay, I'm only going to use one, so I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to put this cover back on this one so that it stays fresh still. And I'll put that back in the freezer until I'm ready to use it. Now I'm going to pour my pumpkin pie filling directly into the pie crust. And it should be just enough. You can also double this or triple this if you know your family and friends love pumpkin pie, or you love pumpkin pie. It also freezes well if you store it properly. You can freeze it, and I'll put that information in the blog post so that you can check it out. It's also a great make ahead. I know that a lot of the savory stuff requires day of preparation, but this is something you can get out of the way and make before the hectic holiday happens. I like to flatten mine out just a little bit so it's smooth. Now I'm going to add this pie crust to a preheated oven. I have it set to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 218 degrees Celsius. Then I'm going to lower it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 177 degrees Celsius. I will be back when it's all done. All right, my pumpkin pie is all ready. I wanted to show you a few things of mistakes that I know that I made for this pumpkin pie. You can see that the pumpkin pie is pulling from the crust. It's not pretty, and yours won't do that. I am filming this in August, and it's really hot here in Sacramento. It's over 100 degrees, like 102, 103, and that is, I think, like 39-ish degrees Celsius, maybe 39, 40. It's very hot, and I let it sit longer than I expected. I baked it, accidentally forgot to put it in the refrigerator last night, and it's so hot here that the moisture has been sucked out. So you likely will not have this problem as long as you remember to store it properly. I have the instructions in the caption below in my link, and you can find out how to make it in advance. Likely it's not really hot where you are because I'm baking this in advance of this video, or I'm baking this in advance of the holiday season. So just make sure you follow the instructions, put it away in the refrigerator, properly stored, and it should be perfect for you. I've made this plenty of times for Thanksgiving and it doesn't pool. Now on to the important part of how it tastes. I'm gonna try to do a good job of cutting it. You already know I am not a good cutter. I always try, but my scoring is forever off. Okay. All right, here is the moment of truth. It's so good. When I serve this to my guests for the holidays, I like to add in some So Delicious whipped cream. It's a cocoa whip. You can usually find it in the freezer next to the Cool Whip. And if you like Cool Whip, it tastes so good. Ready Whip also has the kind that you spray on, and that one's tasty too. If you decide to make this, please let me know how it goes in the comments. I really appreciate you watching today and hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.